You get a raise, it's a 10% increase. You do the math and imagine the extra money in your account each month. It feels like finally you will have some breathing room. But 6 months later, that feeling is gone. The pressure is back. You are making more money than you ever have, yet you feel just as broke. This experience is so universal, it feels like a law of nature. And the terrifying part is, it is. You are not failing. You are subject to an invisible force. This force ensures that your attempts to get ahead through income alone are destined to fail. It's a trap baited with your own ambition. The more you earn, the stronger its pull becomes, keeping you running on a financial hamster wheel. Fighting this force with willpower or a traditional budget is like trying to hold back the tide with a bucket. You will always lose, because the problem isn't your discipline. The problem is the system you are operating in. But what if you could stop fighting it and instead build a dam? What if you could understand the physics of this force so well that you could redirect its power for your own benefit, automatically and without effort? To do that, you first need to know its name. In the 1950s, a historian named Cyril Parkinson made a famous observation that had nothing to do with money, but it holds the secret to breaking this cycle forever. Parkinson's law originally stated that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Give yourself a week for a 2-hour task, and the task will increase in complexity to fill that week. It's a law of human nature. The financial corollary is just as powerful and far more dangerous. Expenses rise to meet income. It is the single most important law in personal finance, because it explains why most people never build wealth, regardless of how much they earn. Think of your income not as a solid number, but as a container, and your expenses are not a liquid but a gas. Whatever size container you provide, the gas of your spending will expand to fill every single inch of it. This is why a raise feels so good at first, but the feeling fades. You get a bigger container, and for a moment, you feel the empty space. But the gas of your lifestyle, desires, and social pressures immediately begins to expand. A slightly better car. Eating out 1 more time per week. A new subscription you barely use. Each expansion seems tiny and justified on its own, but together they are the mechanism of Parkinson's law, silently consuming your financial freedom. So if your expenses will always expand to fill the container, what is the solution? It's not about trying to compress the gas. That's willpower, and it always fails. The solution is to change the container before the gas ever sees it. The only way to beat a law of nature is to obey a more powerful one. The law that can break Parkinson's financial grip is called pay yourself first, but not as advice you've heard before, as an unbreakable, automated system. Here is the standard, broken model. Your paycheck comes in, filling a large container. You pay your bills and spend on your lifestyle. Then, you try to save whatever is left. But of course, Parkinson's law has ensured nothing is left. Here is the new model. The system that breaks the law. Your paycheck arrives, but before it ever touches your main account, a portion is automatically diverted into a separate, unseen container. We call this the wealth container. This isn't a transfer you make. It's an automated process that happens without your intervention. Your investment accounts, your high-yield savings, they take their share first. You are paying your future self before you can pay anyone else. The money that lands in your checking account is now a smaller amount. This is the crucial step. You have given Parkinson's law a smaller container to fill. Your brain adapts to this new, lower number as its baseline, and your expenses expand to fill that container. You are not consciously depriving yourself. You are simply hiding the money from the part of your brain that is programmed to spend it. You build wealth without feeling it. But this creates a new, high-quality problem. How do you make good choices? This system of automated diversion is the engine of wealth. It works because it requires zero willpower. It bypasses your flawed human psychology and imposes a superior logic. The decision is made once, and the benefits accrue forever. The magic number for most people is between 15% and 20% of their gross income. If that sounds impossible, start with 1%. Automate it. Then, in a month, make it 2%. you won't feel the difference. Your brain will adapt. Every time you get a raise, before you see a dime of it, you increase your automated savings rate. This is called saving your raise. You are capturing your lifestyle inflation before it ever happens. This is how you achieve financial escape velocity. Parkinson's law feels like a prison. But once you understand it, it becomes a tool. You give it a smaller room to play in. You let it work its magic on the 85% of your income, while your automated system builds your wealth in silence. You stop seeing your salary as a lump sum to be spent and start seeing it as a flow to be directed. You are no longer a passive victim of your own psychology. You are the architect of your financial system. By building this system, you solve the problem of saving. But now, you face a new set of challenges. You must make choices, and the world is designed to manipulate those choices in ways you cannot see. Let's recap. The feeling of being perpetually broke, even with a rising income, isn't a personal failure. It's the inevitable result of Parkinson's law. Expenses rise to meet income. It's a feature of your brain, not a bug. You cannot defeat this law with willpower. You must defeat it with a system. By automatically diverting a portion of your income before you can touch it, by paying yourself first, you give the law a smaller container to fill. This mental model shifts you from being a passenger in your financial life to being the pilot. You are no longer fighting your impulses. You are designing a structure where your impulses have less power. But once you have this system running, you'll notice something strange. When you go to make a purchase or choose an investment, you'll feel like you're making a smart, logical choice, yet sometimes end up with something you didn't really want. This is not an accident. The same way Parkinson's law governs your spending unconsciously, there are invisible architectures that govern your choices. One of the most powerful is designed to make you choose a specific option without ever realizing you were guided. To become immune to this manipulation, you must see the architecture. Click the video on your screen now to see the decoy effect and learn how companies use a third, useless option to control your decisions.